global professional speaker, the best-selling author of the books, What is the Finance? Get High, and Where's the Moolah? Today, Ms. Sangeeta is here to talk on Get High, be on the path of high performance. Over to you, Ms. Sangeeta.
So I'd like to have a lot of energy in the room. Are we together on this? Yes. Awesome. Before I get started, tell me, how would you feel if you achieve something with great speed, efficiency, and finesse? How would you feel if you achieve something that you thought you cannot? And how would you feel if you keep getting consistently better in what you do? How would you feel? I'd like to hear from you. Proud of yourself, yes? Satisfied? Content? Motivated? You'll be on a high, absolutely right, absolutely right. So that's why I say, get high. You don't need to look for anything external, right? You don't need to be a part of substance abuse or anything else, but you have the capacity to get high because it's in your hands, right? How many of you here want to be high performers? Can I see a show of hands? Amazing, amazing. How would you like to be associated and working in a team that's a high performing team? Yes, and be part of high performing organizations? Absolutely, absolutely right. So that is why I thought, we'll get this topic on high performance and ensure that all of us get a high that we want out of life, right? So today I'm going to take you through some of the common challenges that we have when we want to achieve high performance. And I'm also going to give you the keys to overcome these challenges that you face and also leave you with a framework for high performance, right? So let's get started. Now, I'd like to know, do you know this lady? Anybody? Absolutely, absolutely. Kiran Mazumdar Shah of Biocon Limited. While we know her and we look upon her for her achievements, if you were to take a moment and step back, Kiran, when she started, had an untested business model. She did not get funds to get started. She faced a lot of challenges. Poor water, unskilled labor, poor infrastructure, right? And therefore, she couldn't really set the way she wanted to. But Kiran, being a high performer, took the challenges in her stride and went on to list Biocon. It was one of the first women-led biotech companies to be listed in the stock exchange. So that is the speciality of high-performing leaders. They take the challenges, they face the challenges, they do not break down looking at the challenges. They have the attitude of a winner, a mindset of a winner. They want to conquer these challenges. And they want to get better in whatever they are doing. So those are some of the traits of high-performing leaders. I have written this ebook. It's a free ebook. You can scan this code. You can download. Please take a picture if you'd like to read. So this book talks about different high-performing leaders and their traits. And what is it that we can learn and imbibe from such high-performing women leaders? So I called it Shakti. And I have also intertwined it with stories of women in history and women in corporate. Right. So we are here talking about high performance. But why high performance? Why is it a topic of debate and topic of discussion, and why is it important to us? Now, I've been speaking on high performance for a long time. My book, Get High, is on high performance. And what drove me to write it and talk about it is, like you would have seen yourself, when we had the show of hands on who wants to be a high performer, everybody wants to be a high performer, right? There's nobody who says, oh no, I don't want to be a high performer. Everybody wants to be a high performer, and organizations also want their teams to be a high performing team. And that is what makes high performance something very important. Everybody wants to be one, and everybody wants to maintain that particular level. So that's what makes high performance something that's important. So what is high performance? Now, if we were to define it, what does it look like? So high performance is nothing but achieving superior results by performing at a high standard as per set targets. So what is it that you would like to accomplish for yourself? Be it your personal life, your professional life, right? Set targets, set a time frame. What is it you want to do? And do it at such a good standard, therefore you become a high performer. Basically, you're getting better at what you do, you're being consistent in what you do, right? And achieving your targets, the targets that you are setting for yourself, if it's your personal, and if it's something professional, it's something that's been set by your organization. Yes, so talking about organizations. So this is a large group, the RPG group. They wanted their All India leadership team, right? I did a 2-day off-site workshop for them on high performance. So why was this? And why is it for their leaders? Because they said the culture starts from the top. So unless the leaders are high-performing leaders and they set the tone and show the path for their team members, the organization cannot follow suit, right? So the 2-day workshop was about brainstorming. Brainstorming, what are the best kind of processes? How do we leverage on technology? How can the leaders be at their best, do at their peak, so that they become high performers, and in turn, the organization becomes a high-performing one, because the culture of the organization is such that it becomes a high-performing culture. And that is why organizations are focusing on high performance. Because high performance, I always say HP for HP. What is that? High performance for high profits, right? So if your organization, if the business needs to grow, you need to have set of high performers for the business growth. So talking about high performance, now you may be thinking, oh, so how can I be a high performer? You may also have some doubts and challenges and fears. Will I be able to make it? Can I put in my best? Am I actually a high performer? And more so women, we always have these monsters eating our head, right? We always have this self-doubt. Can I make it? Am I capable? Right? We face all of these. So let me share a little secret with you on how you are a high performer, and how if you channelize your energies in the right direction, you definitely will be a high performer. Because the secret is you are outstanding and you are unique. Each of you here, everyone has a special power. It could be a hidden power, maybe you're yet to discover it, but you have so much within you that sometimes you're probably not even aware. So find out what your strengths are. How can you leverage on your strengths? And do your strengths in such an excellent manner that it overcomes your weakness. And that is what will enable you, it will propel you to drive forward, channelize your energies in the right direction, and help you achieve whatever that you want to achieve. So remember this, you have the power, you have the secret power, you're bestowed, you're already blessed with it, you're already a born winner, right? And therefore see how you can leverage on it so that you become outstanding in whatever you do with your uniqueness. And that is what is important, my dear friends. So having said that, let me share, like I said, some of the common challenges that you may be facing. And what are the keys? Because as a coach, when I work with different people, I have realized some of these challenges are common, right? So I'm going to talk to you about these 3 common challenges and also give you 3 keys on how you can overcome these challenges. So before I get into that, I have this community, it's called Fly High. Fly High stands for finance, leadership, and your high performance, because I think these 3 are very, very important for success and growth, especially if you want to grow as a leader. So if you would like to join the community, there is no messages. It's only the admin who keeps posting just one message a day. So if you would like to be part of it, you can scan this code and join this group. So the first common challenge is lack of clarity. What do I mean by that? Let me share this example that happened to me. Like you probably know, I'm part of ICF, which is International Coaching Federation. So it's a federation, US-based federation for coaches. So I had written an article on the difference between coach and a mentor, because these two terms are very loosely used, and also the benefits of working with a coach. And this was published by ICF in their blog. Now, when it was published, a lot of my friends and other readers, they reached out to me, congratulated me, saying, this article was so good, and so many compliments. But when I had published it on LinkedIn, of course, everybody said it was good, but there was one person who commented, and he said, this article is not exhaustive. It doesn't talk much about a mentor. And, therefore, I didn't greatly like this article. Now, the human mind is such that even though you may get hundreds of compliments, one person saying something negative, and that hooks onto you, right? And that's what happened to me as well. I was like, oh no, what have I done wrong? Why is this person saying like this? Could I have done something better? Or, is it something not right the way I have written? I had all these questions in my mind. Suddenly, I had an aha moment. I said, the article I'm writing is about coaching. So why should I be focusing about mentoring? And I had written everything to do about coaching, the coach, how the benefits of working with a coach, and the difference with a mentor, but my focus was about coaching. It was not about mentoring. And therefore, then I replied to him saying, I said, this article is about coaching. So you see, when I didn't have that clarity, it was bothering me. I wasn't able to give my best. It was eating my thoughts, eating my head up. But the moment you get the clarity, yes, this is what I want to do. So where are you, my dear friends? Which stage of life are you in? Do you have clarity in what you want to achieve in your life? Think about that. So having said that this is a challenge, how do you overcome this? Through purpose. Let me share this very nice example again. A client of mine, she's a very, very driven and focused woman leader, and I was so impressed working with her. She works for a large multinational, and she had grown in her career very well, right? And she had reached at such a point that she wanted to grow even further. So the goal she had set for herself was, she said, I want to be heading the Asia Pacific region. She was very, very clear. She had a lot of clarity in her goal. She had taken that up as her purpose. And what she would do, she said every time she was evaluated for a promotion, she wouldn't take up. Because she said, sometimes I was getting a promotion, getting a good salary increase as well, but I would pause. Is this promotion taking me closer to where I want to go? She said, this would be my evaluation parameter. If it is taking me closer to my goal, I would take it. If not, I will not take up the promotion. I'd rather wait for one more year and then ensure that whatever I'm doing, the promotions that I'm getting, takes me to where I want to. And therefore, what she also used to do was, she said, I used to network with the right kind of people within my organization. And since she was looking at a global role, she would ensure she networks not just with her colleagues in India, but also the colleagues overseas. Take the right sort of guidance, take the right sort of mentorship, work with coaches like me, and therefore see to it that she is able to achieve her goals and results in a much faster, efficient, and quicker manner. And that's why I would like to tell you, be clear on your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing, right? Think about those. So those are my social media handles. So if you'd like to connect with me, I'm called the Gain Enabler. I'm active on LinkedIn, YouTube. I keep posting videos on leadership, high performance, and finance. So if you would like to connect, please feel free to connect. That's my LinkedIn code in case you want to look up. So the second challenge. What do we always say? I'm so busy. I don't have the time for this. Right? Very common, right? All of us keep saying this. So let me share this nice story again with you. This is with another client of mine. He had been working in the corporate for a long time. He was bit by the entrepreneurial bug and therefore started his own business. So like any of the newly started business, he was being very, very careful. He was didn't want to spend his money. So one day, just before our coaching conversation, he called me and then he was very excited. And then he said, oh, guess what? I have just launched my new website, right? And he gave me the link. He said, do check it out. Let me know how it is. I said, okay. And then he also adds on to say that he was the one who's actually built the website. He's not from a tech background. So he was all the more excited about it because he had attended, I don't know, some web courses or he had learnt it. And then he had built it with a lot of passion. So the website had come out very well. I appreciated him for it. And then during our coaching conversation, what was the topic that he wanted to discuss was to grow his revenue. So he was in a very special niche of business and he's been wanting to really grow. So he was telling me, there is a lot of market potential. There are a lot of people who are interested who need my product. But I'm not able to grow my business as much as I would like to. So I was asking him, I said, what is stopping you? You know there is a need, you have the product. So it sounds very simple. So what's stopping you? So he said, I don't have the time for it. Because I need to go and meet my customers, talk to them, tell them how my product will be solving it. And this takes a lot of time. And I have not been able to do this. So being a coach, to me, that was in contrast. So I said, how long did you take to learn how to design your website? And how long did you take to actually do your website? So he told me whatever, some X number of hours. So I asked him, had you spent this X number of hours into growing your business, meeting your customers, talking to them, how much would that have translated in terms of revenue? He gave me a big number. And I said, how much did you save doing the website? That was pittance comparatively, right? So I said, that is what we need to do. Know the difference. Yes, all of us are busy. We have our own priorities. We need to do so many things, personal, professional, everything together. But if you're pressed for time especially, what do you need to do? You need to delegate. Delegate it to the experts. Outsource it. Do things that only you are supposed to do. Not necessary that you have to do everything. Like we said in the morning, we are all not superwomen. We may be superwomen, but not necessarily we have to take up everything into our own shoulders. Let me share this example, what happened to me. Many years back, my daughter was probably about 5 years old at that time. I was working, I was home after a very long and tired day. My husband had invited one of his long friends from a very long time. They were catching up that day. Called them over for dinner. So they kept chatting. They were just going on and on chatting. And I was getting very tired. I wanted to sleep as well, but I couldn't because, I had to serve them the food, clear up the table, and then put the things back into the fridge. And that time when my daughter was very little as well, she wanted me to go to bed with her. She said, can you just ensure that you can put me to sleep? I wanted to, but I knew the moment I hit the bed, I'm going to sleep off. So I was just trying to negotiate and buy time from her. Then she kept asking me, she said, why can't you come? You're also tired and sleepy. So I said, oh no, I have to serve the food, I have to clean the table, I have to put the balanced food back into the fridge. Then the little one just looks at me, she says, Amma, why can't Appa do this? And that was like, it just hit me so much. And I was like, yes, why can't he do it? Then I went to my husband and I just asked him, I said, I'm very tired, I want to sleep. So do you mind serving yourself, clearing up and putting in the fridge? He said, yeah, no problem. So where was the problem? It was right here. We don't want to delegate. We want to take up all the responsibilities. We want to shoulder everything because we think we are only the perfect ones. Only we can do it efficiently. Only we can do it very well. We have all these things, assumptions, misconceptions, right? All this fed into our head. So like again in the morning we said, unless you ask for help, you're not going to get it. And don't assume. Just go ahead and delegate, be it at work, be it at home. I always say, I said, partner with your colleagues at work. Partner with your family at home. Because otherwise you will get burnt up. And it's not good for you. So therefore, ensure you're delegating. Delegate as much as you can. Do what is important for you for your own growth. So this is a very nice book. It's a free download on Kindle. It's called Nightingales 3. It talks about the life journey of 11 chartered accountant women, the kind of challenges they faced and how they overcame it. It's been written by my CA professor. He passed away last week. And it's a very, very inspiring read. So if you'd like to read it, please read that. And yeah, these are my books. The first one is A Glance at the Unknown, which is a spiritual thriller. This is also a free download on Kindle. What the Finance is a bestseller. It talks about finance made very simple and easy for businesses. Get High is what I'm talking to you about, how to coach yourself for high performance. It's been endorsed by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, who is an international best-selling coach. And my latest book is Where's the Moolah? Moolah is money. So it talks about financial growth hacking for business profitability. The hard and soft copy of all these books are available now on Amazon. So if you'd like to read, please feel free to read it. I also have some copies which I plan to gift to the college library. So if you're a student, please feel free to read these books. The third challenge, right? Comfort zone. We don't want to step out of our comfort zone. But if you want to create magic in your lives, you need to step out of your comfort zone. So let me again share my experience out here. I was in the corporate for more than 25 years. And I knew, probably after I completed about 20 years, I knew I wanted to be on my own. I knew I wanted to move out of the corporate, but I didn't have the courage, right? And I was always telling myself, I will do it. One day I will do it. I don't know when. Because I knew I did not have the guts to come out of my comfort zone. But only when I took the courage, took the step to move out of my comfort zone, did I realize what I was missing. Because to me, my personal values, I said, why you're doing what you're doing, right? So what I wanted to do was, I said, how can I contribute and how can I scale myself up? I said, if I can make a difference to one organization, how can I do it to many, more organizations and more leaders? So this was my thought. But still, I wasn't moving out of my comfort zone. That's what happened to me as an author as well. This is a very touchy story. I never had plans to write. In 2015, I had been on a family vacation to Cambodia. I don't know how many of you know of Cambodia. It's in the Far East. I don't know how many of you know of the Cambodian history. From 1970 to 74, there was a mass genocide. Innocent people were butchered mercilessly. Even now, when you go to the killing fields and you walk there, you'll find pieces of bones and nails. There's a huge tower that has the skulls of people based on gender, age, and how they were killed. It's just too gory. When I went there, something happened to me. I couldn't digest it, it was just too much to handle. And I had this thought, what happens if man is so cruel with innocent people? They did not even have an enmity with them, right? I said, what happens? And that led me to weaving a story in my head unknowingly. Then after I came back from Cambodia, a little voice in my head said, why don't you write about this? And what is the first thing the mind tells you? Come on, you're not an author. You don't know how to write. Who's going to read this book, right? Don't we have all these voices in our head? And that's what happened to me as well. And I didn't write. But somehow the story kept coming back to me again and again. And then I mustered the courage. I just started writing a little again, took a break, but thankfully for me, I saw a 100-day book authoring challenge. Challenges, like we know, that's what drives us, right? So I saw this challenge, and then the moment I saw it, I realized, I said, okay, this is going to help me to complete my book, and that's how an author was born. And the reason I'm telling you is the magic happens outside the comfort zone is, that book, A Glance at the Unknown, won me an award as one of the 100 inspiring authors of India, something I had never thought of. Thank you. And then when I started telling people that I've written a book, people assumed it was a finance book because, you know, chartered accountant, CFO with so many years of experience. What? You've not written a finance book? You have to write. I mean, that's what people started telling me. And therefore, I didn't have much of a choice, so I went to write What the Finance, which went on to becoming a bestseller. Again, something that I'd never thought of. So if you want to create the magic in your life, you need to step out of your comfort zone. Stretch yourself as much as you can. See in what area, how you want to excel. The worst thing is you may fail, but that's okay. Let the fear of failure not stop you from giving your best. Right? So that is what happens. So what is the key to overcome this? I call it blissipline. Right? Like I told you about the example of my book. One book led to the other. And I have 4 books before I could even think of. And I didn't even have plans of writing. Right? So when you start coming out of your comfort zone, things start to become a bliss. So again, let me share a beautiful example of another client of mine. He was a group CFO of a large organization. And he had been working there for a long time. His boss wanted him to move out of the group CFO position and become an executive director for the entire group. And this person did not want to come out of the comfort zone. Because he said, oh, I've been working here for so long. I know I'm doing a good job as a CFO. I've been paid very well, a lot more than what I deserve. So why should I take up new role? Why should I, do new responsibilities? He was saying all this at a superficial manner. But during the coaching conversation, what actually evolved, his awareness increased was, deep down, he had a threat. He said, if I move out and if I get a new CFO in the position that I was in, what if he or she is a lot better than me? My image that I have built in this organization over the years, that would go for a toss. Maybe this person will do so many things much more better than me. Maybe he or she will contribute a lot more. Then what happens to me? It was this fear that was actually preventing him from taking on to the newer roles. And that is why it's important that, you think through, you see what it is. Working with a coach, that's what helps you. Helps you to enhance your awareness, gives you better clarity, and pushes you to take the actions in the right direction. Now, this incident happened almost 2 years back, and now he's so thankful and grateful that he's actually taken up the newer role with newer challenges, and he's thriving well and does not look upon the new CFO as a threat to him. So see how you can follow discipline in what you do by coming out of your comfort zone. So this is what I do. I work on maximizing potential performance and profits for corporate leaders and their teams. And I'm also launching this program called Fly High, which I said is finance, leadership, and your high performance. It's a growth-oriented, accelerated coaching program. So if you're interested in, being part of this program, it's going to be a limited number of people and virtual session, both group coaching and individual coaching. Feel free to email me and I will share you the details. So, like I promised, I'm going to share with you the framework for high performance. Are you ready for it? Okay, awesome. So the framework is very simple. What is it? L is to learn, continuous learning and development, right? So keep learning as much as you can, whichever stage of life you are in, because learning never ends, right? And learning is what is going to propel you towards your high performance. I is to inspire. Now we always say we want inspiration, right? We always look externally for inspiration, which is great. But I want to flip across this and ask you a question. Can you be an inspiration to others? Can you take up this responsibility on yourself and ensure that you are there to inspire probably your juniors in the college, maybe some of your colleagues at work? It could even be your neighbor next door. Can you take up this responsibility and ensure you are inspiring others by your actions, your deeds, your thoughts, your work, and therefore lead with example? So can you take up the responsibility of being an inspiration yourself? Think about it. F is to focus. Can you be more focused in what you do? Knowing your priorities right, getting them right, and working on it? Think about it. And lastly, by doing that, can you excel in whatever that you're doing, whichever path you're taking up, right? Can you excel in it? And that makes it the life. Because, my dear friends, high performance is not a destination. It's a journey. We are all in this together. We are evolving, learning, growing, and want to succeed in whatever that we're doing. And that is what is important. So remember this framework. I'd like to conclude with a very touchy personal story for me. This is about a schoolmate of mine. She was not an exceptional academic student. She was studying in the second year of college when unfortunately her parents decided to separate. They were from a very conservative family and wanted to get her married. So they got hold of a groom who was a doctor. He was working in London. Everything was fine. They got her married. She wasn't interested, but they just got her married. Within a year or so, she gave birth to 2 boys, twins. When the twins were about 5 years old, the husband deserted her. She was not educated. She didn't have sufficient money. She didn't know what to do. Luckily, she only had the UK citizenship. She decided to take up the challenge. She was doing part-time jobs and at the same time learning. She enrolled herself into courses there in the UK and was learning and trying to manage both the twins. Fast forward few years. Both her sons have grown and matured into beautiful adults and doing very well in their career. And now she is on the way to get her PhD. She works for one of the topmost colleges in UK. Yes, she definitely deserves a round of applause. So that is what is high performance all about. Everybody gets challenges, but how are you facing the challenges? That's what makes the difference. So everybody can come up with different things, but I say, if you believe in yourself, if you invest in yourself, I say, the best investment that gives you the maximum returns is to invest in yourself, in your growth, right? Nobody can steal it from you because it's all knowledge. Knowledge is power. So if you believe, invest, and if you have the drive to achieve, you are bidding goodbye to your excuses. So go for it, and I believe that no matter where you are right now, you've got the ability to grow. So just keep growing because you can. All the very best to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you have any questions, I'm around now or even during the break, feel free to connect with me.